Hi and welcome back to my channel. So sorry if I talk really fast, but Sienna has just gone down for a nap 5 minutes ago and I really want to get through this, do it in a wanna before she wakes up from that nap. Don't know how long she's gonna nap for because she's really hit and miss. She's always over half an hour, but sometimes it can be 2 and a bit hours, sometimes just an hour, 30 minutes. So it's gonna be quick fire, hopefully. Anyway, I do like to waffle, but yeah, this video is all about basically our list of the really essential stuff, that thing where you just thought, thank God I packed that in my suitcase, because my God did that baby need it. So yeah, if you don't know, we have just been away. Well, it was a month ago now actually. We went away early June. We went to Rhodes in Greece and we went for a week, and it was actually I think it's one of the hottest weeks Greece has ever seen, definitely for June anyway. It was roughly like 36 to 38 degrees every day. So yeah, a lot of this stuff is all about like hot weather, just that sort of thing. If you're going away, obviously not somewhere hot, quite a few of these might not be handy and relevant for you, but yeah, if you're going sort of to Europe or Dubai or wherever, yeah, really handy stuff that we all take over and over again on holidays. Now we've got them. So yeah, I'm going to go into that, and at the end I'm going to try, if nap permits, just to run through and debrief, because I feel like I couldn't get it straight in my head before holiday because I'd never gone through it before. But the process of like a Boots click and collect in the airport, and it was just the scary thing on, right, so what will I need to pack before we get to Boots to make sure she's got enough formula and things like that? And then, like, is it definitely going to be there? Like, how many days in advance do I order it? So I'll try and run through that, because I'd have found this video so helpful if I'd have not gone on holiday and seen it on someone else's. And just what we packed as well, I'll put at the end, because I get so many questions now since I posted about travelling with Sienna. How many nappies, how many swim nappies, how many, what was the other things? Yeah, like how much formula do you need? How many pouches? Like, you need to be a mathematician and work out how many days you're going, including that time when you're travelling either side as well. And then obviously just some extra ones in case. Yeah, it's a lot. And I think it's hard because every baby is different, but yeah, we'll get onto that. But first things first, my list of baby products I couldn't rave about enough, having now gone travelling on a trip with a baby. So I've sort of broke it down into 2 bits, so because I'm just a very organised person making lists. So baby essentials for travelling at the airport, so the actual travel bit itself, and then the baby essentials for when you're actually abroad. So in the airport, having ready to feeds. Obviously if you're breastfeeding you don't need to worry about that, but yeah, if you're bottle feeding still, having ready to feeds. And again, like, I feel like a lot of airlines are so wishy-washy with what's allowed and what's not, and it's quite overwhelming when you've got so much to think about as a new mum, just what you've got to actually take, what's allowed, all the rules, and then just actually packing for a normal holiday stresses me out. So yeah, this was a lot. But yeah, ready to feed, so in case you needed some in the airport, and obviously things like ready for, we took one for the airport in case you needed one, which she didn't actually, because her bottle time didn't sort of fall when we were at the airport, and it was more when we were literally about to take off was her normal bottle time. So it was great timing, because it meant I just give her the bottle when we were taking off to help with the pressure in her ears. So yeah, ready to feed take, and they're absolutely fine going through security, like to the point where they didn't even get them out of my hand luggage. So they must see it so much, obviously, the amount of people that travel with babies. New toys for the flight, so I bought loads and loads of new toys for the flight, and then obviously using them on holiday as well. It was like all new to her. But but just stuff where it's going to really keep her mind going and just keep her occupied, because the Rhodes flight for us was just over 4 hours and then 4.5 coming back. So it's obviously a lot of wake time to fill when you're sat in with like no leg room. It's quite a lot. So yeah, just some cheap new toys for the flight. A little Ziploc sort of bag. I took loads in my hospital bag for when I was actually having her, so I just reused all of them, which was handy. But yeah, a Ziploc bag with a change of outfit for the end of the flight. So I'm saying the bag because it made it so easy to just be able to grab it, rather than it getting stuck in between like muslins and anything else that's in the changing bag that we took. Just having it really easy to grab and spot in the bag. But yeah, like a romper or a vest even, just something for when you get to the other side, especially if you're traveling during the day. So we flew at 6 in the morning and landed about midday there, I think it was, because they were 2 hours ahead, and it was 38 degrees when we landed. So yeah, really handy to take that spare pair of clothes, which you would anyway, because what if they were sick or a poo explosion or whatever happened when you were traveling, or yeah, like on the aeroplane or getting to the hotel and stuff. So you'd take it anyway. Just make sure if you're going to a hot country, it's supposed to be hot weather, take a romper, something really nice and cool and light for them. And then we changed her just an hour or so before we were landing, because obviously about half an hour before the seatbelt sign goes on, so we just left it till around then and changed her into something nice and light. And then for the way home, do the same, but obviously for like a sleep suit, especially if you're going to go back to cold weather in the UK, something like a nice sleep suit and a cardigan we packed as well. And again, just change just before the seatbelt sign comes on, so they're all nice and ready for the colder weather coming back. Other things that came in a lot of use was hand wipes. So this was part of our Boots Click and Collect order. We got some, I think they were on offer, and I just added them to the order. But I'm so grateful I did, because yeah, they came in handy so much. You always feel minging, well I do anyway on flights, just touching all sorts in the airport. So it was really nice just having hand wipes just to really freshen up. And then alongside that, some Milton wipes as well. So obviously she's at that age, she was 9 months when she travelled, but just her hands go everywhere. She wants to be touching, feeling everything in front of her, the seat in front, the little armrests. So just Milton wipes and just clean everything. Obviously clean everything in the airport if they were sat in a high chair. We didn't actually get time to even, we literally got through security, picked that Boots Click and Collect and went to the gate. Another thing which I really found handy was I picked up a really cheap toothbrush holder, just like a plastic sort of tube, and it fits in her like spoon and things like that in. So anything used like that, so we give her, I think it was a Greek yogurt on the flight. So handy for when it's just an absolute nightmare getting up to go and wash it. We literally just use like a water wipe to take the excess off, but then it still feels a bit minging. Just put it in that toothbrush holder, so it's not, when you put it back in the changing bag, it's not getting all minging inside there as well. And then obviously when we got there, we'd give it a good clean, so it was all good. And another thing for the airport was Calpol. So a few recommended about like the ear pressure. One thing for us that did work actually, we didn't actually need Calpol, but it's obviously a nice to have just in the bag, just on the off chance that the baby needs it. I was a bit worried, thinking, God, on takeoff, like what if she doesn't fancy a bottle and just won't have it? Then I can't help with the air pressure. Thankfully she likes a dummy, so she did actually have the bottle because it was her bottle time. But it's sort of the unknown on like at what actual point will it like affect her ears, because me and Kyle, like our ears went at different times as well. So it was really handy once she did finish the bottle to just give her a dummy, and it had the exact same impact, so that was really good. So one thing I really would recommend that we didn't actually use in the airport, but in hindsight like it would have been good to be able to grab it quickly, was a portable fan, which you can buy loads of them on Amazon. I'll link them on below that we use. Any of these products actually, which I can get links to, I'll pop below. But yeah, the fan itself was great. It was one of them ones where it had the little bendy legs so you can wrap it around a pram so it just faces directly at the baby. But it would have been great because we got there and it was 38 degrees, so it would have been really handy to actually have it out while we're in the queue in the airport, just for her. But she was fine. But it would be, if you're going to take one anywhere for the holiday, just make sure you pack it in travel luggage just in case. And that is everything for the airport, like the peak like main things. So then my list of like really handy stuff that I want to tell you about for when we're actually abroad was washing up liquid in squirty bottles. So we bought some squirty bottles from B&M. We could just top them up with washing up liquid at home before we left, and they came in handy for all the sterilising we needed to do. So washing all the bottles, dummies, spoon and things like that, washing them all really thoroughly with our washing up liquid, and then popping them in the steriliser when we're over there. It's just one of them things that you just really need to, I think as a parent you've got to think about, like every little bit. It's not just like, oh, what steriliser are we going to use over there? It's literally like, what do I even wash the stuff with? Like, you can probably get away with a lot, but it's nice just knowing it's like home comfort. It's like it's our actual stuff from home that we always use, and it's fine. So yeah, definitely take some washing up liquid. We bought some mosquito bands as well, instead of getting the sprays. We really got bitten loads. We could have actually done with these bands, but for the baby herself, we bought mosquito bands to actually wrap around the pram. So we put a few on the handle and a few just on the side of the pram as well, and she didn't get bit. I don't know if babies do get bit, but she absolutely didn't, whereas me and Kyle got basically eaten alive. Another great product for us was a pram liner. So the pram liner actually came the day before we went on holiday. It was a really last minute buy, but I'm so glad we did, because for some reason we were feeding her around the pool things like yogurts, and she was trying tzatziki and hummus and things like that. So it was everywhere, all of her little snacks and things. We'd clean her up, and then when she was going back to the room, we'd obviously put her back in the pram, and sometimes some of the stuff just, we've missed it obviously because it's ended up in the pram itself, and caused like marks and like little stains, but it only went on the pram liner thankfully because we had that. And I'm just such like a neat freak anyway. I was thinking all of that sun cream that we're putting on her, like it's just, oh, it's just greasy, isn't it? I hate sun cream, but obviously you need to wear it. But yeah, just thinking, oh, it's gonna go all over that really nice pink pram that we've got. So it was really handy having that actually, and not being that bothered about what the liner's gonna get like, as long as it's gonna look after the pram itself. And then probably my most recommended item out of all of this is, if you buy one of these, I recommend getting one of these. So a snooze shade. So I rave about it on my Instagram since I've been using it. I don't even use it just abroad. I've used it at home as well since we got back. I'll insert some photos or a video so you can see it in action. But basically, yeah, it wraps around a pram, and the one we use is quite, I think it goes on basically any pram, any single pram anywhere. And it's just amazing. Like, it literally blocks out most of the light, so it feels really dark to them in the pram. You can lay them down and they can go for the nap, and the UV protection on it is amazing as well. So it's actually got two different like layers to it to zip up, and yeah, when you do both, it's really dark inside the pram, and obviously it's keeping it quite cool as well, which is nice. Every time we still did put our portable fan in there, which really helped us a bit of white noise, I think, actually. But yeah, I couldn't rave about that snooze shade enough, and the amount of parents that came up to me during the holiday, loads are on the pool, loads on a night, and people like even in the airports all coming up to me saying like, what's it called? So yeah, I couldn't recommend it enough. Her naps were amazing during the day, using it, and it was just so handy, her being able to be there while we're on the sun lounges. So yeah, definitely recommend one of them. And then going along with the nap theme, another product which I've raved about since she was a newborn, we absolutely love it, and it was definitely going to be coming on holiday with us, is the rocket. So you've got, just picture it, you've got, I'll actually insert a video so you can actually see it, but yeah, the snooze shade, nice and in the dark, ready for a nap. Just clip the rocket on the pram and then just set the motion to go, and it's literally like being sort of like gently rocked to sleep. And again, she absolutely loved it, and it definitely helped. Another thing, last thing on the sort of naps abroad, we took a portable white noise machine, whether we actually need it or not because we had the fan. I suppose a few of her naps she did have in the room, in the pram, so we obviously didn't put the fan on because it was like the aircon was on. It was really cool, but having that white noise machine just hanging from the pram, so it was quite near her head but on the outside, I think really helped keep them naps going nice and long, because there was kids squealing and screaming, there was people moving sun lounges and like scraping them across the floor. There was a full-blown like Zumba class going on in the pool at one point right near us, and she stayed asleep. So I definitely think just having that white noise sort of just blurs out all of the other noise going on. So yeah, I'll link ours. We got an Ollie the Owl. It's a Tommy Tippy one, like a portable little travel one. It comes with like a little hook so you can put it around things like a pram. And the last two things on my list were a paddling pool with a canopy over. She loved it, absolutely loved it. It was great just for chucking all of her little toys in, get her in a swim nappy, and she was good to go. Like, she absolutely loved it in there. We took it all the way down to the main pool, and then we had a private pool as well, so it was out on the deck in Lords, and she absolutely loved it. Just keeping cool, she was in the shade, she was just in an nappy and just splashing around with like a bit of water in, and it was so cute just watching her. So that was great. And then yeah, bath toys, just making sure, I think we were, in my head, we weren't going to take many at all, because it was like, how many do you need to really take? Like, we're trying to be good with like a suitcase space, but how many do we actually need realistically when it's just for like a little bath like every day? And I'm so glad we did. We just overpacked on everything, but having loads of bath toys was amazing, because we then took them around the pool, we put them in the paddling pool, so she was in there a few times a day, and they were so handy. So yeah, I definitely recommend that. And then obviously you can use them for bath time as well. And I think we even at some points when we were just sat on the bed with her, we'd just get them, obviously they were dry, get them on the bed with her as well. So they had a lot of different uses, which I'd definitely recommend. And one of the things on like sort of bath toys, when we checked into the hotel, me and Kyle got a nice glass of Prosecco, but they were really lovely, and they gave Sienna a bucket and spade set, which was really cute of them. And I remember thinking, oh, it's like a nice little sentiment, but realistically she's not going to play with like this big bucket thing, is she? Because she's not going to be sat doing anything with like sand and things like that. And it turns out she absolutely loved the bucket. Out of all of the little toys that it came with, like the spade and like little fish and starfish like plastic things, she absolutely loved the bucket itself. So maybe have a little read up about where you are going on holiday. Ours did have like a shop inside the hotel and across the road as well, and both had like bucket and spade sets to buy. So now we know that we'd probably just go and buy them when we're there. But yeah, she absolutely loved it, because it was just her putting toys in the bucket and then pulling them back out. So yeah, really recommend that. It's like a really random one, but she loved playing with it. And that's like my top tips really on like baby products that we really found helpful abroad. And then in terms of what we took and like how many of everything, we took 60 nappies in total, and that was bearing in mind we were away basically 8 days, because of one of the days we set off at 3 in the morning, and so that's like a full day of traveling and getting there and things like that. And then the way back we didn't get home until 5 o'clock on the afternoon, evening time. Might have been 6 actually. So yeah, it was 8 days. We took 60 nappies, and we took 2 packs of swim nappies. We came home with about 6 nappies out of them swim nappies. and I think we maybe came home with about 5 to 10 nappies. So we did it quite well, to be fair. So the swim nappies, we use so much, I think, of those because we upgraded to a private like villa which came with a private pool, so we were getting her in the paddling pool, the pool itself, like a lot during the day. Don't know if we'd have put her in a swim nappy as much if we weren't, to be fair, because yeah, like how many times does she need to go in the main pool? I don't know how it would have worked out, but we definitely feel like we use quite a lot because of just having that outdoor area, like in our, like just outside of our room. We took 2 packs of Milton wipes, somehow only used one, even though every day we'd be using a few times a day for like the different high chairs we were in, and obviously travelling and stuff, but again, they don't take up much room, so really handy to have. We took 3 packs of water wipes and kept one in our hand luggage for travelling, and 1 pack of the sort of extra large wipes. It's the ones we get out of Aldi, and they're just really good for a quicker clean of doing like the high chair. And then the boots order, so it actually tells you when you go to order. So if you've got a holiday coming up, say in a month's time, I'd really have a look online now, and it tells you how many weeks in advance or what sort of date to actually book your click and collect order, so make sure you check that out. It says how long as well they hold the delivery for. I can't exactly remember, but they'll hold it for whatever date you selected plus 7 days. So it doesn't matter, because I was panicking because I ordered it and within 2 days it was at the airport, even though I'd order it for like another week or 2 on top, and I was like, it's going to be sat there for absolutely ages, surely that it's going to get returned. But yeah, when I read it again, I was like, oh, it's okay, it doesn't matter that it's there, because that 7 days that the check only starts from the day that you select you want it there. So that was all good. And things we got on our boots order, we got some anti-back hand wipes for us, meal pouches, pocket pouches, we got a sachet of the porridge that we have for, well, she has for our breakfast, fruit purees, we got a travel size baby bubble bath and wash, our sun creams and after sun, and then snacks for her as well, like melty sticks, biscuits, all of that. And yeah, that was really great. And then basically when you go and pick it up, yeah, you literally just do it like you do any click and collect order, show them the confirmation or they ask for the number, and the woman was really lovely. So just again, because you don't know, it doesn't tell you this on their website when you're ordering, thankfully one of my followers on Instagram actually told me, or I would have had no idea at all. So ours came in this massive cardboard box, which obviously is not ideal for when you've got everything in the kitchen sink already packed for your family basically to go away. But yeah, it came in this huge cardboard box, and the woman at the desk was so helpful, was just like, shall I open it? And obviously you don't need to take the box, have you got a bag? So I'd brought a tote bag, which is another thing actually I'd really recommend. So we just got a tote bag, and obviously they take up no space and no weight, and we just poured loads of it into there. We didn't really, I definitely underestimated how much like space we'd need for all of that stuff on the order. And thankfully Boots just have loads of bags anyway, so we bought this huge Boots bag for like $150 or whatever it was, this huge like bag for life type one, and that fit everything in. And that is everything. And then they just took the cardboard box away. And then when we got to the gate, we were waiting to board, and we just like rejigged some of the stuff. So we knew we wouldn't need all of our formula meal pouches, our sun creams and after suns and things like that. So we actually got out all of the toys and things like that we'd packed for her, put them in the tote bag instead, and put all of the Boots click and collect order into like a cabin case where we knew we wouldn't need to deal with it once we were on the flight. Just making it really easy to grab anything you do need for the baby when you're on the flight, so you're not keeping all of your bags with you, because there was no legroom space on that TUI flight, let me tell you. But yeah, I think that is everything, and I cannot believe this has been recording for 27 minutes now. Obviously I'll condense it down as much as I can, but wow, yeah. So I hope you enjoyed that video. and some of that is really useful if you've got any questions at all, because let me tell you, I had so many questions for people before we travelled for the first time. But I'd just say the main thing to do is just try not to worry. Obviously you can't help it, but yeah, try not to worry, because most of the stuff you can either, if you forgot things, get them in the airport in the likes of a Boots. You can just go and actually buy stuff, and hopefully if you're in a hotel like we sort of were, there's a shop that basically sells so much stuff, like all nappies, wipes, things like that. So yeah, don't overthink things too much. I was so stressed before holiday. But yeah, I hope you found this video really helpful. If you've got any questions at all, please let me know in the comments and I'll get back to you. And I look forward to seeing you in my next one.